Welcome to Tush Twins, heard exclusively on malcolmpresents.com, a streaming platform heard round the world and beyond. Anyway, I'm Malcolm Perman, and this is these are the two cheeks,
Tushes. We're the Tushes, and you're the
the
third
Tushes,
cheek.
Max and
Yeah,
Paula or Rusty.
Rusty Paula. Yeah, well,
Anyway,
need an
guys,
oiling.
Max,
Huh?
you can do the intro, make it formal.
Should I make it formal? I'm
Make it
making it
formal.
Yeah,
formal.
make it
All right,
formal.
so here I am. I'm Maxine Faith, and you are giving me,
Rusty, Paula,
yeah, right.
Rose,
Okay.
Noack, Wollens. You
The-
name it, that's me. Call me anything, I'll answer. As long
can
as it
call me
don't call me
Ray.
late.
You
You
can
can call me Jay, but don't call me late for supper.
Don't come me late for dinner. So we are the Tush twins, right?
By the way, was that a Paul Simon song?
Don't call me
Who
late.
sang that?
No,
You can
you
call
can
me
call me.
Al.
Yeah.
You call me Al. You
Right.
call me
Al.
Al.
That was a dum 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 dum. Anyway, so now you can tell that we've known each other so long that we can get crazy in about 10 seconds, maybe even 1 second, because we are literally joined at the Tush. We have this plutonic love, baby, and we know how to turn the other cheek, haha, when things get crazy. So sit back and enjoy the next 30 minutes or so of friendly talk with some serious sprinkled sometimes, but mostly fun. And as we journey back in time, forward in time, all the while trying to stay present in the present. So we're in the present now, right? Are you
I
in
want
the
a
present?
present. I
You
want a present.
What present do you want?
I don't care. I like presents. I
Okay,
like opening.
we'll have to get something for you.
I have
I'm
a
into
map.
flamingos, you know. Somehow
I mean,
I've
my
been.
present if the U.S. would win the top in the gold.
Oh well, we've got a number of gold, but we have the most medals, right? And
Yeah.
the Olympics are on as we're speaking, and so we lead the medal count, but they don't consider it first because they base it on how many gold medals you have. So right now,
I think China's ahead of us.
Japan or China.
China.
I think
Wait,
France.
China.
You know what rhymes with, yeah, don't start me. But that's another thing that we didn't really talk about, but hey, what can I say? This is giving the Dems a whole new energy, which I am happy to be part of right now. So anyway, so
I'm
the
very
Olympics.
excited about the Olympics.
Yeah, they said I mean, I don't know what we want to go. I could talk about the flame, or we can talk first, or we could talk
Let's
about
talk about the flame first. Let's talk
and then
about the flame.
and the flame. Okay, so
I didn't like that whole thing with the flame. I didn't understand it.
a lot of people didn't. The French have definitely put in a different type of opening. I mean, this was something I've never seen.
No.
The way they had it laid out, the way they had the athletes on the Seine, or the Seine, actually, it's pronounced.
Insane.
It was kind of insane on the Seine because we've never seen that, and unfortunately, it was raining like really bad.
Yes, I felt so
The
bad.
athletes were getting soaked, and then they had different things. You know, we'll go into the opening, but
Paula, center your picture. You go.
Oh God
okay.
help us all.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the flame, it looked like a ring of fire and is lifted by a balloon that looks like a hot air balloon. But the ring of fire wasn't actually burning. It's an illusion made up of clouds of mist and beams of light.
It's so cool.
And basically, it was an homage to the first hot air balloon carrying a human, which flew in Paris on November 21st, 1783.
Oh, okay.
And
the
first manned hydrogen balloon flight took off at the Jardin des Tuileries in Paris, and that's where the cauldron is now. That's where it is today. and you go ahead.
I didn't understand why he was number one, why he was draped in whatever he was draped in that you couldn't see who it was, and number two, why he was running across roofs.
He was going, actually, I think it was not only roofs, but different parts of Paris,
Yeah.
different places in Paris. It was kind of like they wanted to show off Paris and simultaneously do this other quote unquote artistic stuff. But anyway, the
It was
flame,
strange.
it was strange. I have to admit, it was, the
Strange.
French, they do things, a little different. And this certainly was different. I mean, you've been to Paris a lot more than me. What do you,
Yes, a few
I
times.
mean, what's your take on that?
I don't know. I think it was different, so I liked it. Some of the
Right.
things, people were saying with the Last
So-
Supper with drag
Right, right,
queens,
Yeah.
right, right.
and
They
everyone
got
said
pissed off about
they
that.
got pissed at,
Yeah.
and it's a very Catholic, don't used to be a very Catholic country. Uh,
Right.
People are very up. It's like a big uproar, and they do not like it. I thought it was kind of funny because I just thought it was funny.
It was,
I
it
love
was,
drag queens.
well, it wasn't the Last Supper. They were saying it was
I
this
know.
because it's based on the Greek god of wine,
Yeah.
Dionysus. Uh, and the guy, Katerine something, he was semi-naked, was in a costume,
Hmm.
and he was appeared to be, it says, covered in glittery blue paint, and it all went viral. But
I thought
people,
it was,
they
people
they
thought it was
they
very disrespectful, and a lot
people,
of people
yeah, well,
boycotted the Olympics, which my opinion is you could boycott Paris. You don't boycott the athletes.
Yeah.
They
right,
came there from all over the
Yeah.
world.
I thought it was a distraction from the athletes, which normally was in the whole operation of going in the boats, going in the Seine, and
yeah, it was,
if
it
it
was,
was, I didn't get that collective energy like when in formerly traditional
And they walk
Olympics, they
in
walk into the stadium that has 100,000 people, and the roars come up,
cheering.
depending on
yeah,
what country comes in, and they're all walking with each other, and they're celebrating, and and at the end they all mingle with each other. This didn't
right,
happen.
And they didn't have any showmanship or anything. It didn't do it for me, but you know what? It was something completely now for
I
something
mean, if they were going
It
different.
was
for the
different. That's
completely
true.
different and to get it talked about, they certainly pulled it
And they
off.
did.
I
Now I
mean,
can't wait for LA in 4 years, what that's going to be. That's going to be really cool.
Hollywood. I mean, I don't
Hollywood.
Hollywood. It just,
They're going to talk about police brutality.
you know, who's going to talk about police brutality?
In
Oh,
LA,
in Hollywood? You know?
they're going to have the National Guard come in.
What are you talking
I
about?
don't know. Never mind.
Yeah.
That was pretty off the deep end there, Mal.
That was off the deep end. Speaking of that off
Definitely.
the deep end, I don't know whether they were allowing people to swim in the Seine. I
They took
They stopped it.
Did they
Did they
stop it?
stop it? They stopped it,
They
but I don't know if they had to test again because they had they say because of the rain, the E. coli, they mixed everything up. They spent over $1.5 billion to clean the river, they said.
they didn't
Well, they
clean it.
say this has been polluted for the last 100 years.
A lot of years.
No, it's like, could you imagine going? They clean the Hudson River. They actually clean it. You can
No, it's
swim in
not,
the
it's
Hudson
not
River,
clean. It's not clean
but
enough.
it's
How
not
about
clean
up where
enough.
you are?
It's not clean. There are certain areas where they'll let you swim now, but it
Hmm.
really is not clean enough. It is not
No,
really.
they have over a
But
million shopping
yeah,
carts
yeah,
underneath the
yeah.
water in the
Well,
Hudson and the
it's
River.
the PCBs, it's the GE chemicals that they're trying to clean, and as they try to clean them, a lot of it diffuses back into the water, and then you have Indian Point. You have, you have chemicals from the nuclear
I'm a
facility.
little bit jaded for that because now they have new chemicals and new things in the water. But when we were kids, or at least when I was a kid, every summer there were reports, don't go swimming in Coney Island, it's polluted. and it usually was polluted. It had the highest degree of pollution. And literally, when we go swimming, when the tides would come in, you saw all the garbage coming back, including feces, and which we called is a Coney Island whitefish, which were used condoms.
Oh, how did
Uh,
we get from the Sen and the
Well, no,
Olympics
That's
but
that's
that
to
was the
pollution.
same
condoms in
thing.
Coney Island? This is the
Brighton
only
Beach.
show, folks, that we go from the Olympics, Seine River to
We're, we're, we're,
condoms
we're,
in
we're we're
Coney
talking
Island.
we're talking about pollution, and I think the three of us survived.
I
Well,
think we
I
did.
survived. I don't know
Swimming in
about
the
you.
ocean. Brighton wasn't
I
always
don't remember
dirty.
getting as many things as you
No,
said, Malcolm.
just jellyfish when the water got very warm.
I don't.
Coney
Did we
Island,
miss it? I
yeah, well,
don't.
Coney Island and Seagate was around the canal, because that's where
Yeah,
we
you were
turned.
up
So
by,
you
yeah.
must have gotten more stuff than we did.
Yeah.
But there was
Uh,
also, remember Plum Beach? You couldn't go swimming there because that was
Yeah,
totally
yeah,
polluted.
but I remember going submarine race watching.
Yeah, I've been there with my ex-boyfriend, Alan. He's such an
Taking your
asshole.
girlfriend
Yeah,
oh,
he took
look
me
at
there.
that face on
and
him.
and
Do you
listening to
see? Did you see that face?
and
Did you
listening to
see?
Murray the K,
He
There's a
tried.
freaking dirty old man and
Murray
dirty young
Kaufman.
man.
It's
Oh my
memories,
God.
kid. At least I still have that.
Well, I know we're aware of your
Well, some of
memories.
my short-term memories aren't there.
Yeah, me too. I tend to cut things out of my brain sometimes, and I
Well,
don't
Plum
want to.
Beach, we used to go to barbecue because that's the only beach around our area that you're allowed to have an open barbecue there. So we used to bring our grill and had picnic tables. Maxine, you've been with us a few times doing
Yeah,
that. We had
right.
hamburgers and hot dogs and corn on the
Yeah,
cob and
well,
salad.
we used to go. I mean, not far from Plum Beach was where the boat docks were, where the Token of the
Garrison
Sea
Beach.
boat was.
Yeah,
Garrison Beach was
well,
docked.
and that was
Mm-hmm.
Canarsie. They
Yeah,
had
we used
That
to.
was
That's
off,
where
yeah,
Phil and Mitch had their boat there.
yeah.
We would go off from that.
Jamaica Bay.
I don't know if it was Jamaica Bay.
Yeah.
I think it was either
It was part
Garrison
of the
Bay.
inlet of Jamaica. It was
Yeah, it
Garrison
was
Beach,
Garrett's. It was
but it
Garrison
was
Beach.
part of Jamaica Bay.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
I
was
don't
just
know.
disgusting water because all the barges, the garbage barges would go there through there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
So
they
she
and
said they outside, she said they, and it would you see stuff falling off the
they
Okay,
let
guys.
barges.
they
Now, what
let.
does this have to do with the Olympics?
What do you think they do with the big cruise ships?
They
Don't
go
think of.
poopy in the water.
Yeah, no wonder why that's why the whales are pissed off.
I'm
I don't
pissed off,
blame
right?
them.
Bit of
Good
boom.
work.
So
I
so
love those whales.
so
They're their
anyway,
own way.
so
Go ahead.
we started out we of course we're all over the place, right? Because we wanted to do the flame and then we wound up into the opening, but
I know a lot of flames.
in the well in the opening there were a lot of flames in the opening. Oh God, what are we
Uh,
doing today?
Are we going according to your script?
No, not I
no.
mean we're mixing around, but I wanted to get something about the flame in because
Okay.
it has its positives also. Because they didn't want to have the combustibility. But usually it's in the big arena, they usually put the torch in the big arena and then it's up on a thing and this is in the park. You and I've been to this park, right?
Mhm.
And so they said though that it's really the flameless design is better for the environment than an actual fire. And one of the goals of the Paris Olympics is to have the carbon footprint of the games compared with the average of London and Rio. He said a real flame was used for the balloon. If a real flame was used, you'd have to use high quantity of gas and it would create
I know a
CO2.
lot of men that could give us a lot of high
A lot of
quality.
gas. So anyway, they devised this and that's where it is. But my question was, and Malcolm, you asked the other day, like what happened to the flame from the torch that went from Greece through all these
Greece.
places
Right.
and then in the streets and it was carried by everyone, including Snoop Dogg, and they had the
I
thing.
know.
Snoop Dogg, he's another thing we have to talk. He's like the dude, talking about the dude. Oh, that's a whole other story. But anyway, he seems to be a very big part of the Olympics. So what so the New York Times was going, he raised the question, he goes, what happened to the flame? Is what I thought. That's when I looked online.
Yeah.
And had been transported and ferried around, for weeks and
And
months.
what happened?
Okay. He goes, he looked in the corner of the garden where
Hmm.
the cauldron is,
Right.
and he sees something curious. A little glass box set atop a white stand, like a museum display. And it was lit in Olympia from the sun's rays. There was a sign on it, and it read, "Inside was a flame." And I mean, he read that. The sign was, it was, from Greece, and it said, it was a tiny flame in a box, and the tiny flame was the real flame. So they had this little white box, the
Hmm.
actual a little tiny flame
Hmm.
in the box, I guess glassed off. And then you had this big thing which goes up at night, this scientific way of doing it.
Right.
But they did have they do have a tiny real flame of the
Yeah.
torch.
Now, again, maybe I'm a traditionalist. I used to like watching the old Olympics where you saw the flame starting out in Greece,
And
and then
right.
you saw where the
Ending up in the
handoffs were.
arena, right?
And
Yeah,
ending
and
up
you
and
saw where they
lighting and
handed
everyone
off, and
cheering.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
There
people
was
would
no
run the streets,
cheering.
and you saw crowds, and then they would give them to the next.
Yeah. I mean, this was interesting, but there was no cheering. I mean, the whole thing, I mean, the production, I mean, just think, well, Lady Gaga, and then they had the Marie
Celine
Antoinette,
Dion.
the Aunt Marie Antoinette with the heads off
Oh
in that
yeah,
Yes.
building when the heavy metal band is playing. I'm like, what? I'm like, what? And they're trying to tell the story, and I'm like, okay.
yeah,
And then, but then it changed. It, to me, it got better when they had like the sort of audio animatronic horse, which was on a kind of like a submarine, and the guy's going,
Hmm.
and he goes and he brings, the stuff into the arena. Was it the torch? I don't even. But and the young lady, the French singer, sang "Imagine," which I think she
Hmm.
did a great job.
Great job.
And then they didn't even show the actual ceremony. Even they showed a clip of Macron, say the Olympic Games, so whatever. There was nothing, there was nothing that was like a build up to that. The biggest build up was Celine Dion in the Eiffel Tower singing.
Yeah.
I mean, and she knocked that out of the park. I gotta admit, she gave it her all after
I was
this,
so happy to hear her sing.
because she was really sick for like 3 years with this disease
for
that
years.
is rare, but they're finding more ways to help with it. So
Hmm.
I was so glad to see her. So I mean, it was definitely
Different.
Interesting.
it was interesting. It was strange. It
I
was
think it was strange
I didn't,
to see them
I
singing.
found it weird and I enjoyed some of
Weird.
it. And
that
Now
seems to
you're
be a
talking about
it's
catchphrase
a
today
weird.
for a lot
It's
of things.
weird.
now you're talking about Trump and Duncan.
Right, right.
It's weird. That's a new Democratic word for them.
Advance, right,
Weird.
right, right.
But
Well,
anyway,
Weird.
and it
right.
was strange to see that woman. I don't know who it was that sang La Marseillaise, the French national anthem, and she's
Hmm.
singing to the sky. There's no one there
Well,
because it wasn't in the stadium.
they had a pre-record. It was on a particular bridge in Paris. I've been over that bridge. I don't remember the name offhand. We've all been over that bridge if you're
I've
there.
been over it
But
many,
right,
many
right,
times.
right. So that's where
I've
they
only been to
used the
Paris once.
bridge. That's the bridge they used as the focal point for all the dancing and the different things they've done, including the Dionysus and quote, I don't know. They try to get, they said people don't know the history. Read a history book and then you'll understand. And I'm like, if you can't present it in a way that
That
you would
people from
understand that, even people who knew the history and said this, because when I was watching it, I said, this is the Greek gods. This is Greek,
I
directed. It has nothing to do with the Last Supper.
that's what everyone said. I didn't see that part. I had to go
Yeah.
online and people are showing me how disrespectful. I'm going, I didn't think it was
Yeah.
Well,
disrespectful.
that was Greek to me. I lost interest, to tell you the truth, of that whole opening ceremony because
Mm.
it didn't have
Mm.
anything to do with the Olympics.
Well, it had to do with the city
It had
And
to do with the city.
every
I know, but
Olympic, every host city does something to bring in the city and to give
But
the
you
history of the city.
understand what's going on
Well, because
in
they
Rio,
use
the
because they
dancers and the
right
history and
right
everything.
they did it this way.
Mexico.
This was, well, you know, the artistes in Paris. They go for the for that, you know, we're the artists, you know,
You're
with the
better than
cigarette.
anyone
Oh, we're the
else.
artists, and if you don't understand this, you're stupid, you know, and
Sacre bleu.
so whatever. So they yes, suck on
Dun,
blue is
dun,
right.
dun,
Suck le bleu,
bleu.
suck le bleu, suck le
Sacre
bleu.
bleu.
And then they got upset because
Socks are blue.
of the, you know, the Leonardo's depiction, and it was the 12 apostles. And apparently in this thing there were like 17. They didn't count. If they counted how many people were at the table, they would say it's 17. But there's
Hmm.
only 12 apostles, right?
Puzzles, yeah.
So
Weird.
either you don't know your religion or you don't know your Greek history, you know, one of the two.
That's some of the apostles' dates.
I don't know. They were
Oh,
Yeah.
drag
I thought
queens.
that was the best part of the thing. I thought the drag queens were wonderful. That was made my
Okay.
whole
I
day.
mean, so and it's like, how could our kids watch this and
Mm.
see that? You know,
I'm
I don't even know what
sorry.
kids would definitely not get this at all. I mean, I don't know how any kid
Well, it
would get.
depends how old the kids are.
Well,
Even teenagers are kind of like not there because their parents aren't letting and schools aren't teaching any stuff anymore.
oh, you know what? No, what's really funny? They have a picture of Mick Jagger watching the games,
All right.
and there's a bunch of millennials and Z's around him, and they don't even know who he is.
They were on the cell phones.
They're on a cell phone. Could you imagine? Could you imagine
I'd be
that?
going like this.
I wouldn't know. And he's watching the event. I don't know what event it was, and they're like on their phones. They're all, and he's there, Mick Jagger, and it's like, yeah,
Yeah,
meh,
yeah,
you know.
But Mick Jagger is from another generation. A
Mick
a
Jagger
lot of
is
generation. No, he's
he's from
cuts through.
he crosses generations. I'm
He
sorry.
does. He crossed them.
That's
Well,
don't call it.
he was just in LA doing a concert.
Well, now he's in Paris. So anyway, and then they go the coverage. They show all the celebrities there, right? You got to there, you know, like there's no one else in the audience. But what I do like about some of the coverage is they're showing the parents,
That's what I
right?
like.
Yeah.
And some of the parents they hook up to check their heart rate. And when they're so normally when they're walking in, it's like 71, 74, whatever it is. And then when their kids up doing whatever they're doing, it goes, you know, 120, 140, 16. One
Ah,
mom was she was clocked at 163, her heart
oh
rate,
my
watching
God.
her kid on the
Right.
palm or whatever.
Get the resuscitator.
Yeah, well, no, she did, and then to see, you know, the dads are screaming and the moms, it's like, because you know, when you watch your kids, you know, Malcolm,
Yeah.
and Paul, when you watched, you know, play, I remember Dennis watching Yvonne
Well, my
play
husband, he
basketball,
was
right? He
crazy.
went nuts. So that's what happens. That's what happens at a game.
Plus, some you hear, that's my son, yeah, and you hear screaming. The mother's like,
Especially
yeah,
with
but
Simone Biles.
oh,
Simone Biles,
Biles.
she is the
She,
goat. She's the goat.
she
I
is
think
No,
the
no
goat.
question.
She is
she's
a
like
gold
4'8",
medalist.
4'9".
Yeah,
It's
and she's amazing.
amazing.
Her
I have,
husband, everyone went crazy.
I don't know if I'm gonna try to find this picture. I have a picture.
Of
I
her
saw a
and Shaq.
picture of her and Shaq. Did you see
Yeah,
that?
that was on Facebook.
Oh my God.
I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah.
Looks
You
like
see
a
that?
movie. Yes,
Look at that. Look at that.
that's
I had
so
to take a
cute.
picture because two goats actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, so it's cool. And then some of the, you know, the games have, you know, people who they for 4 years they
4 years
they
here.
work
work
I
so
at
mean,
it.
more. Yeah.
hard, and then some of them just break through, and they're not people that, you know, are looked at as breaking through.
But what was interesting also, which was I think had a little thing of controversy, the women's beach volleyball,
What
because
was
for the first
controversy?
time the
Oh, they
women
were
were allowed to wear tights
Yeah,
right, instead
tights,
of
yeah.
a bikini.
instead of
Bikinis.
bikini. I always thought that was very sexist that the women had to wear bikinis and they
Yeah.
couldn't
I
wear tights or
thought
they couldn't wear shorts.
some wore shorts, some wore bikinis, some wore leggings.
The
I
women's
thought there was
team, the
some-
US team, it was a rule that you had to wear bikini.
Right.
But now some of them said, no, we're wearing the tights. It's more comfortable.
Right.
Even
Well,
though it's so hot that probably the bikini is probably the better choice now because
yeah.
it's been in the 90s in that arena.
But as you say,
But
as a
they
dirty old
can,
man, I always two sports that the women wear tight, like bikini bottoms. Uh, One is tennis. They wear the skirt over it, short skirt.
Mhm.
But when they serve and when they do anything, the skirt comes up and you see them wearing the tiny bottoms. Why can't
it's called
women
it's a skort.
score?
It's a
The one,
sport. That's
Why
like a sport.
couldn't women wear shorts like men?
They
yeah,
want him, they always
Men
wanted
don't
them
have tiny
to.
bottoms. They have
look
shorts.
feminine. But
I don't
most
think, I
women,
don't really, I don't, to me, I don't care either way.
Well, you don't look at the butts. I do.
I see the butts,
Mm.
and the butts are the biggest thing.
Or they have in track and field.
Something like that. Well, track and
I
field too.
love, I can't
They
wait for that.
that starts this weekend, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then they have so wait a minute, I gotta call
But, yeah,
out
but to
the
me, that's
well,
all sexist
I'm
because
announcing names. Hold on. I gotta
okay.
announce two names. I'm announcing
And I want to announce
so
one.
okay, you're gonna do the fencing. I'm gonna announce the gymnasts. So the gold medal women, Simone Biles, Jordan Childs, Suni Lee, Jade Carey, Hesley Rivera, and the two alternates, they're called traveling replacement athletes, are Jocelyn Roberson and Leanne Wong. And that was the women's team. And Hesley Rivera is only 16 years old. I think she's one of the youngest in the Olympics period. And she did get to compete in the qualifiers, but when they only could pick three athletes, I think, for each, apparatus, she didn't they
Rough.
wanted to put the strong veterans on. And the men bronze winners, and they hadn't won a medal since 2008, was it, I think?
In gymnastics.
Yes, so we have Asher Hong, Paul Judah, Brody Malone,
Mm-hmm.
Frederick Richard, and Stefan Nedorosik, the guy who went at the end, and it was all on him when he was doing his routine. Uh it was incredible to watch this guy be like Superman because he was wearing glasses and he has
Mm-hmm.
to take off his glasses to go on, and he was awesome. And now he's like the geek
Oh
of the
wow.
crew. He's like, so now they're calling him Superman,
Superman.
which
Well,
the geek is now Superman.
it's
So
amazing how much pressure they're under.
on the pommel horse, yeah, the pressure has to be insane. I mean, I don't know how, but
Oh my God.
what
The men were so amazing. The,
yeah, they were
those
all good.
white
And
tights.
yeah, I don't know who did Japan won, I think, the gold in the men.
For
I don't,
gymnastics.
yeah,
Yeah, I
I
think so.
don't.
Oh, by the way, this has nothing to do with the Olympics, but you're talking about parents being proud. There was my son's little league team. There was a guy named Jack Flaherty. Jack was a pitcher. Well, he is a pitcher. He played for Harvard Westlake, which was one of the top private schools. He was number one draft in the
Wow.
draft. I forget how many years ago. He's probably like in his late 20s. And now he's making about $14 million. And he was finally traded to the Dodgers, where he
So
started.
this kid you
in New
watch
York.
pitch and he's on the Dodgers now?
Yeah, he's on the Dodgers. He
Wow,
was
that's
playing, I think he was
impressive.
drafted by
Congratulations.
Baltimore and Detroit, but I really never saw him. But now he's on the LA Dodgers. And his mother, Eileen,
Mhm.
who I know, she's
Right, sure.
neighbors here. She had a picture of him in Facebook, I think when he was like 2 or 3 years old. She's
With a
holding,
ball in his hand or something?
wearing LA Dodger
Oh,
uniform.
sure. I'm
Oh,
sure they use that for his
that's gonna be
PR
all
stuff.
over the place.
For his PR
And
stuff.
today he's back on the Dodgers.
Wow.
Yay.
That's so
He just
cool.
made it from the trade. Anyway, that has nothing to do with the Olympics.
Yeah,
Okay,
well,
now I want
But it
to
was proud
announce
parents.
what
someone
about fencing? Go ahead. Fencing?
fencing. The first Black woman to win fencing was Lauren Scruggs.
Gold.
She is from Gold.
Gold
She
medal.
won, and she's from Queens, New York.
Right, but she
Ooh, yeah,
also didn't she beat the silver medalist who was
silver
also.
medalist, that's Kiefer. She won the silver medal. She
I
fenced
am.
against the United two.
Each other.
This is
They were
the
fencing.
first. This is the
They
first.
they
American,
fencing
two
each other. Right,
Americans,
right,
yes.
right. That
Oh
was
my God.
crazy.
What's her name from Hong Kong? Vivian Kong. She
Vivian
Hmm.
won.
Kong
Yeah,
from Hong
Vivian
Kong.
Kong from Hong Kong.
What did
She
she
won
win?
gold medal in, I think it's saber.
Did they
And
have men's yet, or it's ongoing?
it's ongoing at the moment.
Do
Yeah,
we
it's
have
But I'm
any?
just so proud. There's not many of the American men as there were I'm just so I can't
yeah.
even tell you how
You must
excited
have been going crazy because
I was
we
going
won.
nuts.
U.S. won 1 and 2 in it's pretty
And you have to
crazy
see
actually.
the match was unbelievable. I just was
For
like
some reason,
screaming.
fencing when I was growing up was always, well, I consider it an effeminate type of sport.
Oh no.
No, I know, because
The guys go at it. What are you talking
aside from
about?
Errol Flynn and Tyrone Power,
Errol Flynn. They
Oh
were,
man,
I love watching. Basil Rathbone was great. Oh my God, he was a really professional. He could fence, Basil Rathbone.
yeah.
but
Well,
but anyway, my children,
just
I,
one quick thing.
yeah,
They have Colin Jost from Saturday Night Live is one of the
yeah,
commentators for surfing in Tahiti. He's actually doing some interviews with the guys and stuff, but apparently because he's a surfer. I didn't know that.
yeah.
Mhm.
I
He
didn't know
surfs.
that.
I didn't know that. But he went surfing and then he wound up on the reef, coral reef, and he burned 3 of his toes
Ooh,
to the point where he has like a staph infection. And the big joke he says
Oh,
they know me more in the medical tent than any of the supers in the program. I have to come in every day. And they show him with a pic. He's on the lounge chair drinking a pina colada. It's like having him do that. I'm like, who thought of this? And of course, this Snoop Dogg is like a star in this.
Snoop
And then
Dogg's
we
a
didn't
star in
talk about
everything.
but and also that the U.S. swimmers have been great. I mean, all of them, all the athletes deserve
all,
our accolades from everywhere.
yes, all the
Um,
countries and the people that are boycotting this, shame on you.
And
yeah, what does that have to do with
Shame
these
on you.
Rusty, close your ears because I'm going to talk about the soccer team, the women's soccer today. They won their
What?
third game against
Oh, okay,
Australia.
okay. Well, what?
I'm gonna
We
watch
forgot.
it
Wait,
now.
and just one other thing: the women's rugby team won a medal, a bronze medal.
You're
That's the
kidding.
first time. If you could catch that play, the last play of the game against Australia, you're not going
I
to
have it
believe it.
taped.
D-
Go watch it.
We
Look,
tape
look for the
everything
women's
and
rugby team.
that's all we do
Okay.
from
Does, do
morning to
you
night. Watch the
do you
Olympics.
know the rules of rugby? Do you know
No,
how it play? Every time I watch it, I have no idea that. And
My nephew is a rugby player. He played in high school, and he played in the army for Fort Hood.
they have to
And
they're built like
I've seen
football
the
players.
games. I don't understand it, but the U.S. Australia game where the U.S. won the bronze for the first time ever.
Yeah.
You got to
okay.
watch, even if you just watch the last play. It's viral. It's everywhere. Even if you Google last play, rugby
Let's
women.
play.
Yeah,
I have it
no,
on tape.
watch it, Malcolm. You will freak. Is fabulous.
W-
It's just fabulous. So that's it,
I mean,
folks.
I look at those guys. I say they're awful big.
You know. Well,
Yeah,
And
and
they
then
are.
you can really get hurt.
yeah, they're
There's
Rugby is one
no
of the most dangerous
there's no
sports out there.
protection.
well,
There's
yeah,
no
they don't wear any
helmets.
pads
There's nothing.
or
And they're
helmets.
just manhandling each other or woman handling whatever. I don't think
And then
the
banging
women
into each other. Yeah.
they just not for
I,
me.
I watch a game and my muscles hurt.
Yeah, my
Whatever
muscles hurt
muscles I have
now.
left.
Yeah, I don't
And
know. My knee,
I
my
did
knee,
anyone
my
quick
knees are sucking lately. So
did
Anyway, my
anyone quickly
children,
did any I know, but did anyone see the breakdancing?
did it
no.
start?
With the start already?
It's they had a demonstration of it the other day and it was interesting. I can't wait
Oh,
to see it.
oh,
I can.
no, I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking
Actually,
forward to it.
I think it's cool.
Anyway, yeah, we'll have to wait till next week to make any further comments.
Right, because
Guys,
then we'll have the track and field.
yeah,
And we'll talk about Barbie house.
yeah, and
Yeah, we
thank
didn't talk
you.
about Barbie
Let
House,
me
but we
thank
did.
you. Thank you for joining us
Shalom.
on Tush Twins on
Arrivederci.
Malcolm Presents.
Shalom.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Shalom.
Tune in next week and we'll give you the results of
We'll
what we
have
know.
part 3 of
Amen.
our Olympic
Bye.
coverage. Ciao.
Do, 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 do.